Essentially, the visual HUD can be like a base kit spine chill, like a 5th perk slot for survivors. There's a high chance that another realm is going to be changed, and I predict Crota's Pen Asylum. There'll be small package perk updates after each chapter, likely 4, to keep things fresh and shake up the metas a little bit so things don't become too stale. BHVR has announced on Twitter, it's been a packed year, but there's more to come. We're updating this Year 7 roadmap with even more improvements arriving over the next few months. See what's on the way? And here is developer update, Year 7 roadmap additions. They did a little brief overview over the changes they've made with all the different chapters, all the different changes throughout the year. BHVR has been doing a pretty good job. In July, they rebalanced 40 different perks, overhauled the game's progression system, added matchmaking incentives. September was a preview of the finishing Mori system, and they're constantly working on trying to get it implemented in a way that won't completely break the game. In December, they brought bots to custom matches, along with introducing team-based ratings and matchmaking to disincentivize selfish behavior and incentivize teamwork and altruism. In January, the wiggle system became official, allowed you to browse menus while queuing for a match, and allowed the tracking of quests while in-game. And here's the most important part. The question is, what's next? As always, we'll share our plans for the next year during our anniversary, but there's still a few months before then. So let's dig into a few more exciting features you can expect in the coming months. Bloodweb Improvements. If you went back in time 1 year and told people too many blood points would be an issue, no one would have believed you. Yet here we are. If you found yourself with a surplus of blood points and not enough time to spend them, within the next few months, we'll be making improvements to the Bloodweb to make it easier and faster to spend your blood points ever than before. I know on my Twitch chat, people have been asking for an auto spend feature, or even raising the blood point cap. We'll see if those things come. As every rank reset, if you get both Survivor and Killer to rank 1, you get 2 million blood points, which is the blood point cap, and the game kind of forces you to spend or lose your blood points if it goes in excess of 2 million. Survivor Bot Loadouts. An average of 70,000 bot matches have been played each day. This feature made it easy to jump in and try out new content in the Forged in Fog chapter when it was released. The first version of bots and custom matches was fairly simple, but we'll be expanding on the feature shortly with loadouts, allowing you to introduce more variety in the Survivor bots you face. As a note, some perks will ultimately be too complicated for them to use effectively, and we'd hate to make them too smart and be the case of the robot uprising. ChatGPT. Map repeat prevention. Variety is a spice of life, and Dead by Daylight is no exception. With so many maps in the game, it can feel a little underwhelming when the enemy decides to send you to the groaning storehouse for the 6th time today. Soon we'll introduce a new mechanic which guarantees that you won't be sent to the same map twice in a row. The odds of being sent to the same map will also be decreased, yet still possible for the next few matches. This is something that I covered in the problem with Dead by Daylight. According to one of the messages in my stream, a hacker confirmed after a certain streak, the game forces you to the map you lose the most. Although unofficially confirmed, many feel this is the case, where the game favored to give you one of your weakest maps if you won a certain amount of games in a row. It's not officially confirmed, but BHVR acknowledges getting the same map over and over and over again can be a little boring sometimes. As a bit of insight, sometimes when I play my favorite killer, like Huntress, I get like the same map over and over again, the hardest map. And that is because I think sometimes I win a little bit too much. And sometimes I play a very weak killer and then I always get their best map. I wonder if there's something in correlation with kill rates with behavior, but obviously a phenomenon like this exists. And this might be a reason of one killer winning too much or losing too much. And the map RNG kind of gives players a helping hand. They want to randomize that so it gives a little bit more variety, which is good. This past year, we've been working hard to make Dead by Daylight more accessible to a wider audience. Those who are deaf or hard of hearing, the terriers can be difficult or even impossible to keep track of despite being a crucial part of the game. To remedy this, we'll be introducing new accessibility options, which when enabled, will provide a visual representation of HUD. This is going to be huge because even people who aren't deaf or hard of hearing will be able to use this and be able to tell, okay, the killer's slightly coming closer to me, oh, the killer's slightly going back. This will allow you to pinpoint the killer's location, kind of like Spine Chill does. An in-game feature like this is in Fortnite for sound effects. People who aren't even deaf or hard of hearing use the visual sound indicators in Fortnite. I think the same thing will happen in Dead by Daylight, where people will be able to visually see if a killer is coming closer to them or not with the HUD. And it might make survivors a little bit kind of stronger. Maybe it'll make people play better and smarter. I think this would probably be a good change. It is a survivor buff, as it will make survivors versus killers a little bit more consistent in terms of difficulty. And if it makes all survivors stronger, BHVR can buff killers to compensate for the discrepancy of imbalance. Visual update. The realm beyond continues. We're in the process of visually updating one of our older realms. By now, you probably know what to expect, so we'll save teasers when this update's a little closer. That said, there aren't many realms left to update, so we got a pretty good chance of guessing which one it is. If I were to guess, this is probably the Crotus Pen Asylum. There was a bug in the doorway. When you tried to walk up the stairs, it'd be this invisible wall. Why is the Crotus Pen Asylum building hitbox being changed all of a sudden? Well, maybe Behavior is doing a visual update to Crotus Pen Asylum. Anytime random invisible walls appear in a map, it usually is a good indicator that Behavior is tinkering around with map hitboxes. This phenomena happened on the corn maps a long time ago, where a lot of Huntress hole shots disappeared, and I was like, Behavior is getting rid of these. No, they're just completely changing and molding the hitboxes so that the map is quite different. So I would say Crotus Pen Asylum is almost guaranteed getting a change. That's just me though, I might be wrong. We put a lot of focus on general improvements and quality of life features as of late. We're pleased to say perk balancing is going to pick back up shortly. Like before, we're hoping to introduce a small package of perk changes with each mid-chapter update going forward. Each mid-chapter update, 4 killers per year, 4 packages of perk changes. So we'll share more details on these perk changes at a closer time to release, but since we know what you're about to ask, yes, one of the perks looking into do rhyme with Shakeups. This has been a problem in the Dead by Daylight community quite a bit. A lot of community members often get bored when things feel repetitive or stale. This feeling has been lingering around when it comes to Call of Brine and Eruption. A lot of players keep facing the same 3-gen meta, Dead Hard, Decisive Strike off the record builds, and playing against the same players with the same perks over and over and over again can make it seem very repetitive. This type of boredom leads the community to go kind of insane, where people try to start a ruckus and often try to create a ripple in reality to just try to have some more fun with the community. You can often see stuff like this on Reddit and Twitter, where people are complaining about windows of opportunity being overpowered. That's just my 2 cents though. Maybe you think windows of opportunity is overpowered. They're good on Behavior. I don't know if they're going to touch Call of Brine or Overcharge. You could still hold a 3-gen setup, but I'm not a developer. I'm just trying to tell you guys what's happening and what's going on. Limited time cosmetics. For recent events, some of the more festive spooky outfits were debuted, only appeared for a limited time. As the game have grown, hundreds of outfits have been added to the store. We know many of you don't want to miss an opportunity to get these outfits, so we want to clarify how these limited time cosmetics will work. New limited time cosmetics will be available for purchase with Orc cells when the event period ends. These outfits will be vaulted, removed from the store, until they return the following year. Next time they return, they'll be available for both Orc and Iridescent shards. These new additions to the roadmap will be released as part of multiple updates over the next few months. Ash Edition, we'll be going in more details regarding each one when they're closer to release. Before we sign off, we want to take a moment to thank you for diligently providing feedback over this past year. You've helped shape these additions to our Year 7 roadmap, and will no doubt impact the plans for years to come. Until next time, Dead by Daylight team. And that is it. Overall, I think Behavior is keeping their promise and hitting the nail on the head with these updates really well. There's one thing to look out for, and is the quote-unquote aftermath after the Survivor HUD update. If players get really good at the game, there might need to be some adjustments to certain killers. If the kill rates don't change that much, then maybe there won't be that much need to be done at all. But it's something to keep an eye on, just in case things get a little too out of hand, as players become more comfortable with the HUD update in general. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this developer Year 7 roadmap additions installment, and hope to see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.